反应很慢哦。Full screen, come on, wake up。这在 form 底下，这是不是有什么在底下？我看看。OK, fine. Okay. 14. OK, 你看14很长哦。OK. Okay, time period, remove of contingency, cancellation, right? 很多那个 lots of buyer, what they really concern is like, can I get my money back? This is it. Okay, that's up to how you modify this. You could modify whatever the date, but the default. Let's talk about just the default. Okay. Of the contingency cancellation under the paragraph by either buyer or seller must be exercised in good faith and in writing. So those are C.R or C.C. C.R, that's a contingency removal. C.C, that's a cancellation. Okay, contract cancellation. A, seller has 7 days after acceptance to deliver to the buyer all report, disclosure, and information for which seller is responsible under how many paragraphs on that? 5, 6, 7, A, B, 5, 10, A, B, C, F, 11, A, 13, A. So that's why before all the paragraph, they all mention to this paragraph, 14. If by the time specified, seller has not delivered by such item, buyer after the first delivery to the seller, notice to seller to perform, NSP, may cancel this agreement. So it's not like every time we want to force the seller to give us the document. That's what you do. Within 7 days, seller, you gotta have to give me all the disclosure, all the document, including escrow instruction, preliminary title, natural hazard disclosure statement, even technically HOA document and termite report. But usually we kind of give the seller a little bit more time for HOA document because most of the seller, they are cheap. Why? They don't order the HOA document before open escrow. Even when they open the escrow, they don't expedite the HOA document. They use a regular. When in the regular processing day, that's 2 weeks. But as a listing agent, you got to have a knowledge. You say, if it's 2 weeks, what happened? Buyer has a right to extend the contingency period because if it's a delay more than 2 weeks, then what do we got? 17 days coming right up. Can buyer remove the contingency? They cannot. They cannot remove all contingency. You kind of scared the seller. Actually, we can just leave the HOA contingency alone. Then buyer can remove rest of them. But as a seller, sometimes you just tell them and say, why don't you, spending the money right away? Or even when you are sincere, want to sell the property, why don't you order the HOA document through escrow before even open escrow? So sometimes, the seller, they can prepare on what? The HOA document, if they do have a HOA. Preliminary title, natural hazard disclosure statement. Those are free. Why don't you just open it up, sit in the escrow? The escrow officer, they will love to do that because when you just open escrow, all they need to do is review the purchase agreement and prepare the escrow instruction, and everything is done. Then actually, even on same day or next day, they can send out all the report. And same thing, termite inspection. Can you prepare that ahead of time? Sometimes, most of the termite company is free to do the inspection anyway. Prepare those documents. Don't wait until the last minute. You just get, it's like, because if you prepare everything ahead of time, then buyer has no right to say, I did not receive it. Oh, you delayed this, you delayed that. No, I give you everything. Right after open escrow. Just like assuming if some buyer cancel the escrow, then the second buyer coming in, boy, they're fast, is it? They give you everything next day because it's there. You treat it like that, then buyer has no way to tell you, say, I don't have enough time to review. No. I give you everything. When your initial deposit coming in, I give you everything. Put it this way. Usually that's how the escrow did. Unless your initial deposit delay. then you got no escrow instruction. Sometimes, if you on the buyer's side and you gotta have to tell the buyer, say, look, without the initial deposit, they will not release any escrow instruction to the lender. Then who delay? Well, buyer's lender also delay. Then you delay the whole process, your loan contingency, everything. And B, buyer has 17 days after acceptance unless otherwise agreed in writing. 1. Complete all buyer's investigation, review all disclosure report, lease document, and to be assumed by the buyer's pursuant to paragraph A, B, 5, and other applicable information, and buyers receive from seller and approve all matters affecting the property. And 2, deliver to the seller signed copy of statutory let disclosure and other disclosure delivery by seller and in accordance with the paragraph 10A. So basically, all the report disclosure, including the lease document like solar, water softener, any lease document, you also need to provide it at the same time within the contingency period. 17 days. We don't want to wait until 17 days, give them the report. Why? Because if you give them right on 17th days, so what's the buyer has? 5 more days to review, right? You give it to me too late if it's a report. But certainly inspection, everything. And sometimes we don't want to delay the inspection either. Why? If we want to ask a seller for request for repair, you got to give seller some time. Sometimes why the seller delay? Sometimes it's not really seller delay. Seller hire contractor to do the estimate. How much I gotta, either I give you the credit or I do the repair, or I should reject this, I should repair that. Give and take. Yeah. So you do everything early. Just like the lender, if they want to close it within 3 weeks, some of a lender, they can close in 3 weeks. How do they do that? When we do the inspection, appraiser is there already. Because 17 days also appraisal report, remember? Appraisal report also 17 days. And appraisal usually take how long the turnaround time? 1 week. You're not expecting they will give you the report in 3 days. Some of them they will, but given 1 week. And some of a Chinese bank even worse, 2 weeks. Okay. Do you guys heard that? It's like what's the regular closing time for Cathay Bank and East West Bank? No. 45 days. Don't even think about it. They will tell you if you get lucky, 60 days. Normal 90 days. Do you think as a seller want to accept those offer? Well, 90 days. So what they are telling you is between 60 to 90. And how did they compete really the regular lender? Just like even our, the in-house lender. If you really want to do the stated income, do you guys know? 20% down. Our in-house lender. Yeah, new program, 20% down, stated income. No income verification. The only catch, I can tell you, the only catch is your client got to have a great credit, not just good credit, great credit, 740 or above FICO score. And some of them, they do have it, right? 740 or higher. Then you can get those programs. 20% down, stated income, 30 days escrow. She can deliver. Huh? Just someone to verify the employment. That's it. 账户当然要了. The bank statement, you got to have a seasoning. Yeah. Bank statement, you got to have more than two months. Because I have a contractor, they like to keep as much as the cash with them because they can run the business. They don't mind to pay. Sometimes they even try to get like 10% down, self-employee, without a verification. But with a higher interest, they're okay. I want to keep as much money with me so I can run the business. Okay? 10% down, stated income. Great. Higher interest, no problem. Well, still it's 5% anyway. They say, big deal. Okay, they'll pay. Yeah. No, 7 years, first 7 years fixed. That's really, really, really good. Okay. They say mainly they, oh, don't worry about it, James. We'll probably pay it off within 7 years. Great. So what I compare is a whole lot better than what Sterling Bank, Cathay Bank, East West Bank. And why should I have to finance with them? That's why I tell you the news. So as a buyer's agent, our job, why we have to know all the lenders program? Because we are finding the money for our buyer. When we can find the money for our buyer to finance, so we can close the deal, right? And they think you're a hero. Even, it's a lender's program. It's not me, but I found it for them. Yes. Not for the foreigner. You got nothing. The foreigner, you have no FICO score, no credit score. Yeah, the foreigner, we'll put it aside. Foreigner is harder financing, and the foreigner, I know East West Bank, they still doing the foreigner, but prepare 75 days escrow. Then if they gotta have per diem, if we talk about the per diem, so they're being penalized. How much per day? Buyer, you better cooperate. Yeah, because you choose the lender, not us, right? Not many banks still willing to finance, on the foreigner anyway. So, 2, within the time specified in the paragraph 14b1, buyer may request the seller make repair and take any other action regarding the property. Seller has no obligation to agree or response to RRRR, buyer's request. Okay. So that's why I tell you to do the inspection early, so you can do the request for repair to the seller. But if the seller is not responding to your request for repair, what's that telling you? Silently reject it, silently ignore it. That means, no, answer is no, repair. If you keep on calling listing agent, say the seller is still not responding, what's it telling you? Seller doesn't want to do any repair. Otherwise, seller say, oh, they're doing the estimating, or we're thinking about it. If like no responding, I mean it's no repair. But I give it a request, but seller gotta respond. Not really. See that? 14b2. Okay? Seller has no obligation to agree to or respond to your RRR.
So that seller can be saying, no, I don't want to repair.
That means if they don't respond to your request for repair, that means it's no.
Okay, so
then what do you do?
So what do we do?
Either you can tell the buyer you want to buy, okay, then you pay everything, or cancel. You only got 2 ways to go. But sometimes when you send a cancellation, the buyer says, oh, wait, seller. You say, oh, seller is not responding. We're going to send the seller cancellation. Hey, maybe seller will respond this time.
So that the buyer, you have the right to cancel.
Sure, within 17 days. That's why within the contingency 17 days. But sometimes if the seller receive another offer or better than yours, then they kind of ignore you. Right. They make you cancel, so I can accept the other offer. That's how I'm the listing agent. I will do that. I'll play the game until seller don't even respond. Let's let the buyer. They want to buy. We cannot do anything. But we are not going to respond anything on the repair. If they want to cancel, so be it. We got a cash offer right here. Dang. Or some of a listing agent even worse. Hey, I got a double-ended. I'll try to make you cancel it. Can we do that? Well, yeah. Is it legal? Yeah. Well, I can be nice. I can be pretty bad. But you gotta have to know the guideline, know the law to play legally. Even they piss you off, too bad. Okay, so that's why don't piss the listing agent. Bottom line. Sometimes if they have an offer coming in, you piss the listing agent, you're gone. Sometimes they say, James, you gotta thank me. Boy, seller like you. They don't like me, even my buyer. I got a cash offer too. You got a cash offer. Well, why? I don't know why the seller choose you. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Even even the listing agent's newcomer. So what? You only got 1 year, and you're still begging him. So what? You're the buyer's agent. If you don't, if you want somebody to beg you, be a listing agent. But on the other hand, listing agent, what's the pressure coming from? Seller. How come my house haven't sold yet? They listing agent have bigger pressure than buyer's agent. Put it this way, okay? We all play the role so many times. We know. Did I ever expire the listing? Yeah. What can we do? It's just the nature of our job. Yeah. You can talk so much, before you get a listing. After you get a listing, oh boy. Between the listing agent and seller, their love meter, it keep on going down the slope. When they sign a listing agreement, they expecting you to sell the house so quickly. Yeah. Then after a week, 2 weeks, a month, what happened? James, what happened? Uh, oh, don't ignore the seller either. So as a listing agent, report to the seller every week, once a week. I didn't ask for more, but once a week, it doesn't really have to be. Sometimes email, at least, let them know you did not forget them. Otherwise, they may not extend your listing when it's expired. I got the listing agent, they say continue with the when I expires because James, I don't want those phone call calling me, the expired listing phone call. Boy, where did I get your phone number? Not me. Definitely not through me. I hate to tell him that. I say, well, because you don't want to drop the price. That's why, we'll end up expire. It's not we don't have an offer. It just, you know, you reject it, you ignore it. Yeah. So it just make our, job harder. Well, then I say, yeah, sure, continue, no problem, because I don't want to receive those phone calls. Great. Extend it first before you reduce it. Okay. You gotta sign an extension first. Okay. Don't ask them reduce first. Oh, should we extend it? You gotta have. I have to gotta catch them. Oh, you extend. You sign an extension. Then after a couple of weeks later, if we have offer coming in, and say, shall we lower the price? What do you think? Depend on how if they have urgency. Yeah. Just like it's like James, can we sell them by the end of this year? Oh yes, I would definitely love to do that, but we have to work together. What's that telling you? Lower the price. So that's a lot of situations can happen. So it depends, what you think. And but on the other hand, they say, well, we gotta have to see the offer first. If you want me to lower the price, and if any offer coming in, then where do you find the offer? Possibly, 没错. Yeah. So that's why catch 22 is like you gotta have to do that. But we also have a listing. It's like seller just ignore the talk to. Oh no, we know the market, so we don't need to meet. Come on, open house only got one group people show up. What are they telling you? Every time we do the open house 2 weeks, then every time the open house, one group of people show up. Oh, now we don't need to meet. We know the price. We stick on the selling price. Oh, dang. Then what do? Put them on the market. We cannot do anything because we took the expired listing and some the stubborn listing. Some the stubborn seller, they still want the same price. Okay. Yeah. It's just different agent. What's the whoever already see that property already seen it. Yeah. And sometimes it's like, we have 5 competitors in the same community, similar size, similar price. And past half year, we nobody for not even sales pending, not even sold. I mean, nobody at the past half year went into escrow. What's the telling you? Everybody's too high. Well, you think it's overpriced? Not exactly. It just price drop over $1 million house differently. It's not as like the smaller size. But overall, it depends on the timing. Just like, Hacienda High, we have last time, for the 2-bedroom condo, and we have our coworker. Now they dropped to 358,000. I think that's a great price because 2 months ago I sold the identical one for 375. Yeah, and now 358. Well, what happened? Is it the market dropping? Well, it's just like what you see, like a stock market. You gotta have some correction, and this is a great time for the buyer to jump in. Okay. Great time for the buyer to jump in, and great time for seller to sell and get prepared. Why? What do you tell seller? The interest rate going keep on going up. We better have to dump it fast. You don't want to wait until the last minute. 2020 maybe it plunge, and wait until the last minute. You cannot they will plunge hard. It depends on who you talk to, seller or buyer, or if they want to buy and sell, or sell and buy and shut up. Because no matter what you say, you cannot lean on one side. Buyers are great to come in, but I need to sell my house before I can buy. Okay. There may be still a good time. Why? You sell it cheap, you buy it cheap, your property tax is cheaper. You gotta have to make up, be more creative. If for those buyer and seller, they are both together or something like that. Yeah. Number 3, by the end of the time specified in paragraph 14b1 as otherwise specified in the agreement, buyer shall deliver to seller a remove of an applicable contingency or cancellation of this agreement. However, if any report, disclosure, or information for which seller is responsible is not delivered within the time specified in paragraph 14a, that means what? 7 days. If the seller deliver any report more than 7 days, then 7 days later, then buyer has 5 days after delivered any such items, and the time specified in paragraph 14b1, whichever is later. So that means the buyer, they can even extend the contingency period because you did not deliver enough document or disclosure in time. To deliver to the seller a remove of applicable contingency and cancellation of this agreement. By this part, it's basically they're telling the buyer voluntarily turn in this remove contingency when the time is up. But on the other hand, on this part, didn't really tell you. Notice buyer to perform. We'll cover that later. But on the contingency part, they basically tell you the buyer either you cancel or send out a remove contingency. But personally, I would not voluntarily send the contingency removal unless buyer very, very sure and they really, really want this property. They could even remove the contingency earlier with because we definitely want this property and everything we agree the sellers respond, blah blah blah. Then I say, you sure? Because when you sign this contingency removal form, give it to the seller. That means if you cancel, you just kiss your initial deposit goodbye. You sign this form. You gotta have to make sure they understand what they are signing for. Don't just throw them under the bus and just tell them to sign it. No, you'll get a lawsuit for that. Especially newcomer. One time, I heard one of a trainee, the first case. Boy, he's worked so hard, and it's like he keep on telling buyer, yes, you can get financing, blah blah. He keep on going, but what happened? It's like more than 30 days. They only and they even remove contingency without even the loan got final approval. That's very risky.
My friend.
Okay. Then no, not only that, it's like then later on they are asked for the initial deposit, that $10,000 initial deposit need to compensate by the buyer's agent. You did not make the money. You have to pay buyer $10,000. Otherwise, I'm going to sue you. You want to settle or you want to get a lawsuit? You tell me remove contingency without, you should tell me cancel first. Well, because this the agent. First case. I want to get it. Hey, you lost 10 grand before you even making money. I don't know what's the end up with either the lawsuit or 10 grand. If they want to continue on this, um, career, okay, they probably thought about it's a job. That's why when I tell you what's the difference between the job and the career, well, it sounds about the same. No, career is you're the boss. You work as your passion, your desire. That's your career. Job is 9 to 5, clock in, clock out. Oh, I need to get the money. That's it. Don't treat this job as a job. Don't real estate. You need to treat it as a career. Otherwise, you will not succeed. Okay. You gotta have a passion. No passion, you just find any different job, any works. Same thing. 9 to 5, clock in, clock out. That's why our elimination rate. How high is that? 85% for the first 3 years. I hope all of you succeed because you are my 11th session, and whatever the 10th session, I can see a lot, and that's about the same ratio. You're gonna have to continue, work hard, and after that, you can work smart. You always work hard to begin with, anyway. Yeah. And later on, you can work smart because you run out of time. Everybody all have a 24 hours. Yeah. Then you make your every hour count. Doing the run a search, looking at a computer, that doesn't consider working. Put it this way. Okay. I look at MLS. That's not considered working. Working is when you are showing, when you are doing the listing presentation, when you do a negotiation with the buyer or seller. That is considered working. Okay. So if you say, oh, I look at the MLS every day. Yeah, you should do that. That is not considered your working hour. So if you would consider you want to work 8 hours a day, fine. Then what's your working hour? And number 4, continuous contingency. Okay, even after the end of a time specified in paragraph 14B1, before seller cancel, if at all pursuing the paragraph 14D, buyer retain the right in writing to either remove remaining contingency or to cancel this agreement based on the remaining contingency. Once buyer written removal of all contingency delivered to the seller, seller may not cancel this agreement pursuing to paragraph 14D1. So I mean, if the buyer remove the contingency, then seller have no right to cancel the buyer. Even you think the market is so hot, I can sell the higher price. Too bad. You already signed. Buyer perform, and you open escrow. So that's why it's like basically seller, when you open escrow, that's pretty much done deal. Okay, you gotta have to honor whatever the price you sign for. Even you have a higher offer coming in, you cannot cancel the original buyer. You just have to finish up. Then if the current buyer even they remove all contingency, then you definitely have no right to cancel. Especially for the residents, if for 30 days you didn't really feel much. But sometimes, commercial property, then if we deal with the 180 days, 6 months escrow. How can we do? How we extend it so long? Because sometimes they have a contamination for the soil, phase 1, phase 2. Those inspection report and the contingency period, not just 30 days, could be 60 days. Or even 90 days. Sometimes you think commercial property is easy. No. Oh, before I get my money, it's half a year later. I'd rather do the lease. Okay, I'd rather do the lease. Commercial lease, residential lease, that's like quick money. Yeah, it's a quick money. But I know a lot of people doesn't like to do it. It's okay. I will. Yeah. But as long as closer area, within this area, territory, you don't want to go too far. Because showing the tenant, I don't really want to show the tenant. It's like you do the listing agent and try to double end it. because when you do the lease, 50%, you're double-ended. And if they signing a longer lease, great. You ask the seller pay you all commission. I know commercial, they will pay you all. 3 year, 5 years lease, they'll pay you all. Okay. But the residential, I mean, it's like sometimes the seller willing just pay you a first year. Even the tenant wanted, lease for a second or 3 years lease. But you can always ask. You don't ask, you lose though. When you ask if seller willing to pay you 2 year or 3 years commission, great. Yeah. And when you double ended, even better. Better than that. Better than you selling a small condo. When you double ended, 6%. And what do we got the selling right now? I mean the buying 2%. Hey. Nope. Too bad. Yeah. It's because the eviction, okay, if it happened, right? But did I force you to sign 3 years? No. You can do annually, year after year for the lease. But you choose for 3 years. You want to lock in the rate. So do the tenant. But anything could happen. We try to prevent those situations. Okay? But before you choose the tenant, you better thoroughly check on them. What's their income, their credit report, their bank statement, what kinds of job they have. Okay? So especially if you got a bigger house, you got to have a great income and have a tons of money in the bank. But usually those are the business owner. If you talk about a bigger house, because we are afraid of marijuana house. Okay, so and sometimes and the other one is for the baby factory, 月子中心. Yeah, we're afraid to get lease to those property, and not only that, we tell the tenant, look, landlord has a right to inspect your property as long as 1 or 2 days notice. So you just don't know when are they going to inspect it. So you gotta have to thoroughly check on, especially bigger house though. Sometimes it's hard to as a belief. It's like I have the one in the big house, 7,000 square footage house, and I lease it out about a week, faster than the townhouse. Yeah, townhouse they got so many. People they will look at it, but I tell the owner and say, look, it maybe take about half year because you talk about 7,000 square footage for $7,500 rent per month. Yeah. And it just happened. Wow, lease it out for within a little bit over a week. Yeah. And once I put on the market, someone likes it, they jump on it, and they work so fast because of the tenant's attorney. Yeah, wife, attorney. So show me all the income. Great. Husband, own the business. Great. Show to the owner. What do you think? James, I'm shocked. How do you find this tenant? I don't know. How can you lease so fast? You tell me expecting a half year. Yeah, it just happened a week. Do you want to take it? Absolutely, take it. Because you don't know when is the next time. Because I did show that property to a younger boyfriend and girlfriend study in Mount Sac, driving a Lamborghini. And you know what's that? Chinese. Yeah. So I mean, what kinds of tenant you're looking for? Yeah, right. You got to tell you got to tell the parents, pay all the money, all the fee. Yeah. So that's why we also need some luck on this job. Okay, 天时地利人和嘛，对不对？这很重要。And if the buyer did not remove the contingency, that means continue. Okay. Buyer will not voluntarily, when the time is up, they remove the contingency unless seller or listing agent, you give them a notice to perform. notice buyer to perform. You got to give them that form. Then you take their control from buyer back to the seller. So that means seller can cancel the buyer anytime. When I serve you the notice buyer to perform, doesn't mean seller has a right to cancel you, the buyer, but they probably hold on to it. You continue, but you don't have a right to cancel anymore. I have a right, seller. I can cancel you anytime. If you don't behave, you don't listen to me, because they took the right from buyer after 17 days or even 21 days on a loan contingency. Okay, so when we serve the notice buyer to perform, it could be 15th day, because you can only serve them 2 days before the actual contingency day. So you can serve them the 15th day and or 19th day for all contingency removal. But if you do not serve them, just given the contingency CR, given the CR form, I know most of the listing agents just give you the CR form. Then buyer is not responding. Yeah, absolutely. You didn't tell them to perform. Then why should I sign a CR form for? You cannot just give me the cancellation after just give me the CR form. Hey, James, if your buyer did not remove it, the contingency, we're going to cancel you. I say, well, you cannot. Why not? Because you never tell us to perform. What's that form? It's called notice buyer to perform. I actually talked to some of the listing agent that I said, what's that form? Notice buyer to perform. You got to serve me notice buyer to perform before I can remove. You cannot just give me the CR form and just tell me to remove the contingency. Oh, well, sometimes you just have to educate a listing agent too. C, try not to use this one unless it's really, really, really hot property. Remove the contingency with the offer. Buyer remove the contingency specified in the attached contingency removal form, C.A.R form. If the buyer remove any contingency without the adequate understanding of the property's condition or buyer's ability to purchase, buyer is acting against the advice of broker. We could remove the contingency right when we submit the offer. For example, like what? Appraisal contingency, right? If we really want to get this deal, and we are paying over asking, instead of a seller counter the buyer, I say you need to remove the contingency, blah blah blah, and which escrow. Then if you're smart enough, you call the listing agent. What price was seller expecting? Then I want the seller sign my purchase agreement right away, not wait until they counter. Because the longer you wait, usually what we say, when the seller counter, you may lose a chance, 50% chance less to get the deal, especially multiple offer situation. Sometimes, I'm the latest one to submit the purchase agreement, but I got the deal because I communicating with the listing agent very well. And I can, using the financing buyer, and beat a buyers, two or three cash buyer. And end up, when they found out is the cash buyers also, the buyer's agent also our co-worker. James, boy, you beat my, how do you know that? Yeah, because eventually they will know. Cash buyer, they have a cash buyer. Mine is financing, but I beat them up. And I'm the latest one. And I have the seller to sign my purchase agreement on the spot after they receive it, because you communicate with the listing agent what seller really want. And I put what seller, the date of the escrow, the price what they want, and the term and condition what they want. We put it together, then sign it. Instead of wait for them to counter. You don't have to worry about a title insurance company or the escrow, because what we put, seller's choice anyway. They don't really have to counter us for seller's choice. Just tell us, which company you go. You can always tell me later, but all I want is sign my purchase. That's it. Okay. So if you're the buyer's agent, if you communicate a listing agent, good enough, then you can just make all the term and condition, the price, everything, what the seller want, and seller can sign it on the spot. The worst thing I know I lose before is that's the buyer's agent. They grab the purchase agreement directly to the seller's house. Can the buyer's agent present the seller the purchase agreement in front of a seller? Yes. And listing agent cannot stop that. Okay, that's a good old day. 30 years ago, that's how they present the offer. Buyer's agent present the offer in front of a seller, not listing agent. Now we get lazy. We got email, we got fax, so we fax it over or email it over to the listing agent. So listing agent present it for us. But well, so if seller live in the house, knock on the door. One time I lose a deal because a couple grand, is it a couple grand or 5,000? Yeah, I remember 5,000. It's a West Covina case. We thought it's pretty much got it, and the listing agent really want to work with me and say, if anybody pay higher, I will definitely give you the hint. Then you gotta have to add another 5,000. So my buyer say, okay, no problem. I'm ready to buy it. I can add a $5,000. But they present the offer in the listing agent office because listing agent say on what time they're gonna present the offer. Then what happened? One of a buyer and one of a buyer's agent grabbed the offer and rushed to the listing agent's office. Bang! In their conference room with the seller. This is my offer. Let me present it. Listing agent doesn't have a time to give me a hint. The seller sign it. That purchase agreement. Then I lose it. Huh? It gotta be. Yeah. Gotta be. Because sometimes the buyers is cheap. They don't wanna go all the way. Okay? Whatever they can afford. They don't want to get the best price. They want to starting gradually. So they would not pay more. So what happened? That would lose a deal. And I learned the lesson hard way. I told him, I said, look, we lose. I can pay $5,000 more now. Too late. Seller already signed that purchase agreement on the spot. How can they rush in? They said, well, that's a 30 years good old day. We didn't expecting that. I have to tell you, I'm sorry. Hey, James, why don't you just rush to the office? Well, the listing agent say no need to because all the offers, we got multiple offer, everybody. I said then they what, everybody come over here in my office? No way.
One more question.
Yeah.
If the seller,
Mm-hmm.
if we offer the price,
Mm-hmm.
We are not the highest one.
Mm-hmm.
He chose us.
Sure.
Can be right.
Yes, seller has a right to choose any offer, even you are not the highest. And I lose one of a deal. See how many deals I lost before. So I lose the deal because seller did not choose us, and our offer is $20,000 more than the escrow close offer. 20,000, that's a lot for $80-some thousand house. Okay. Why? I talked to the listing agent. My buyer want to challenge that. You give me a great explanation because you already closed the escrow. You can see that. I said, well, because seller know this buyer, and seller insists want to sell to this buyer because it's his friend.
You never know. Maybe.
I know. So that's why I asked my buyer, you want to challenge them? Yeah. I say, well, if you choose to believe that, then so be it. If you choose not to believe that, then we after them. You want to sue them for 20 grand? So, but it is though. But you sometimes, if the buyers, if the seller choosing maybe cash offer a little bit less, or sometimes 10 grand less from between the financing. But I do lose the deal. Again, that's why another case. I lost the cash offer between the finance because $3,000 apart. We have only $3,000 less, and my buyer just would not pay for that $3,000. And the listing agent said, if you pay the $3,000, it's yours. My buyer said, no. $3,000. Come on, seller, so stupid. Mine is cash, 15-day escrow. Why do you have to wait until for 30 days? Seller just choose that the financing without. Yeah, we even 10 days escrow. What? Yes. Listing agent is not. Listing agent has no choice. Yeah. Uh-huh. And what you can do? No, the violation of MLS. It doesn't mean anything. No, it's not valid. They did not validate any MLS. What you can do, if you see that some of the agent double-ended with the lowest offer, first of all, did they ever present your offer to the seller? That's why I want to see the rejection of the initial on the page number 10. Okay, right here. No. I want to see. Yes. No. No. Buyer can, okay. Buyer can actually approach the seller directly, not buyer's agent. Buyer can approach the seller directly. This is my offer. Did you ever see that? Or when you did not get an escrow, or if the cash buyer, if you had any doubt, or anything, if you a standard practice, you know what you can do is, see that? Rejection of offer. I want to see seller initial. Well, I know. But 有几个人敢作假? If you fake it, I can tell you, one of our previous worker is a felony. He just went into the jail. He used to be work in Remax 2000. Quang let him out. Well, do you think we won't get into jail? Oh yeah. Felony, not just a suspended license, and went into the jail for about more than 1 year. You'll probably know him. If you work long enough, yeah, we know him. We all know him. I didn't know until lately. If you check on his name and license on the BRE, all the felony, all the court order, that's happened in 2016. And just went into jail. I don't know. Maybe he just come out now. Yeah. Oh yeah. That is something, sometimes if they are purposely doing that and violate the code of ethic, or sometimes, and they may just suspend the license. You know what? If I were you, I will report the listing agent to DRE. Let them file the investigation. Pull out all his deal. Then they will find out, wait a minute, this listing agent purposely, yeah, because they can have a right to pull all. That's why every offer we submitted, we have to keep it for 7 years. It doesn't matter did they accept it or not, because sometimes if you're a listing agent, when the offer coming in, we keep it for 7 years because we don't know when we get audit. When we get audit, we gotta show them all the buyers, all the purchase, not just the one you accepted, all the offer coming in. Okay, so that's the case. So just file a complaint, or instead of we as a brokerage file a complaint, also you can have a buyer file a complaint for the same agent, same case. Then they will investigate, because multiple listing survey is a violation only for MLS only. But your case is double-ended case. That's why you reported to DRE. Okay. Sure. Okay. That's why those agents should be eliminated when the double end. That's why when the seniority, when they tell me when I went in the job, if you want to keep this career long enough, try to avoid double end. Try to avoid double end. Yeah. Because they will easily get the lawsuit. Easily. When you get double ended. Okay. Well, those are, you can, file a complaint to the DRE. So if you have any doubt, right after the open escrow, you want to see this. I know it's like, They see this presentation of offer. Who's initial this? Listing broker. Okay, and to this offer on which date did you ever present it? This is the initial by the listing agent. Okay, or listing broker. This is initial. If you reject it, initial by seller and dated. If you dare enough to fake this, we'll see. And that could be a felony. You go in jail. Not just a fine. You go into jail. Not just a suspended license. We could go into jail. That's the issue. I don't want to be challenged, especially when I deal with short sale. I'm the short sale listing agent. I got 10 offers coming in. Seller is choosing the worst offer. We got cash offer coming in. We got finance offer coming in. Seller choose a FHA loan finance offer. Dang. And what I end up with? I have seller reject 10. We got about 11. 10 offer on this page. I don't want to get challenged. And I send it back to each buyer's agent. I'm sorry. Seller choose whatever they want because that buyer keep on knocking the door to seller. Please sell me the house. And I lose a deal because of VA loan. Ours, we have all cash offer, and seller, they want to honor the veteran. What can I say? Anything could happen. Doesn't mean you got to buy cash buyer, you're a winner. No, not really. Okay? Not really. So it's not like, I have so many experience of losing the deal. Not how make me here. That's why I share the experience with you. Where do I got lost? Oh, what I got, make a mistake. I learned from the hard way. And every time I improve myself, better and better and better, sharper and sharper. Yeah. Okay, E. Oh, wait. D. Seller have the right to cancel. Seller have the right to cancel buyer's contingency if by the time specified in this agreement, buyer does not deliver to the seller a removal of the applicable contingency or cancellation of this agreement, then seller, after first delivery to the buyer, a notice to buyer to perform, MBP, may cancel this agreement. If such event, seller shall authorize a return of buyer's deposit except by fee incurred by the buyers. So that means if the initial deposit returned to the buyer, there's sometimes the escrow may charge a cancellation fee. They may not return all of them. $200-300 cancellation fee, give and take. Sometimes the escrow will return everything. It depends which escrow company. Most of the escrow company at this moment, they will charge you the cancellation fee. Because so many cancellation lately, they just work. They don't want to work for free anymore. Yeah, so they will charge the cancellation now, most likely. So when you tell the buyer, and you got to tell the buyer, say, look, if you cancel, a escrow company may charge you some of them, not all of them. You will get most of them. Oh yes, no, it won't. But what I'm saying, usually when I say the cancellation is, when you go to this stage, when the seller serve you the notice buyer to perform, that's almost to the contingency end period, right? Come on. How many paperwork did they finish? Oh, they did. Definitely, they will charge you the cancellation. Mm-hmm. 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 We don't. No, it doesn't matter. It's not my money. Do I care? No. Okay, I don't care. No, I will actually. I will encourage escrow company charge cancellation to buyer. Yes, we need to educate the buyer. Don't just submit an offer and cancel. Submit an offer and cancel. For what? You're wasting our time, buyer's agent's time. Oh, do we have to, prepare we got to spend our time to prepare the offer, right? We got to spend the time to show you the property, right? And you cancel, then we got to start all over again. And sometimes if you cancel, we may lose this buyer. Okay, but you double. Yeah, but I know that's fine. But I mean, that's why they don't mind to lose $200. So don't play the hero in front of your client, seller, or buyer. Okay, if they're willing to pay, so be it. Okay. I say, oh, let me get your money back. For what? It's not my money. All I care is my commission. How much do I make? Yeah. And 2, seller right to cancel. Buyer's contract obligation. Seller, after first delivered to the buyer's MBP, may cancel this agreement if, by the time specified in this agreement, buyer does not take the following action. 1, deposit fund as required by the paragraph 3A or 3B. If the fund deposit pursuing to the paragraph 3A, 3B are not good, when deposit, that's what? Bounce check. You don't deliver a personal initial deposit check and bounce, okay? Don't do that. You can have an escrow hold on to your initial deposit check if the buyer need to transfer the money from different account, okay? Don't just give in a check and without the balance, without the money in the account. And obviously, escrow doesn't know. They deposit, boom, next day, bounce. I say, let me give you the deposit right away and stick a note. Make sure you stick the note and tell the escrow officer, tell the listing agent, and look, the buyer need to transfer the money. So I can give you the deposit, the check right now, but please give us a day or 2 to transfer the money. Don't deposit it right now. Otherwise, I can give you a deposit 3 days later. So make sure we have a fund that you can cash it. Take a pic. Yeah.
You said buyers wiring.
Absolutely. Why not? Wiring is.
People didn't wire first 3 business days and then they ask for inspection.
They could though. Yeah. That I do that. I do that all the time. Okay. Because that 3 day, basically put it this way. When you consider when the seller accepting the buyer, you lose control. If you really doesn't want that 3 days, you can actually counter the buyer. I need to see your initial deposit 24 hours or next day. Okay. Yeah, you can counter that. You could though, because in default it's a 3 business day, but you can counter next business day. The next business day. So if you accept the offer on Friday, they have Saturday, Sunday, they have to deliver on Monday. You can shorten the period. Oh yes, you can actually modify this, but you got to give it a counter. Uh-huh. Oh, when you accept the counter offer, no, you give it when you receive the purchase agreement, you give it a seller's counter. Yes. Oh, not really. I can give. Yeah, I can send all of them. All send 10 pages later. I just send them the counter first. Yeah, you can send just a counter first. Yes, yes. Because when the counter offer is signed by the seller and buyer, both parties, they consider a binding agreement. Even the purchase agreement haven't signed it yet. You cannot cancel the buyer anymore because you have do you have a document signing on the same page, buyer and seller? Yes, and that's a binding agreement. So even seller hasn't signed a purchase agreement. Can I seller still cancel this buyer? No. Yes. You gotta remember that because those situations been challenged before. So that's why I share with you. Those situations being challenged by the seller. Say, I want to cancel this buyer, but you didn't sign the buyer's agreement, a buyer's counter or a seller's counter. Any counter have a buyer's signature and seller's signature on the same page. Done deal. Binding agreement. Seller, you can submit it your sign purchase agreement later, but you need to. No.
sign, then find.
Yeah, any page, any page.
So we.
Well, certainly you still need to initial all the pages, on the seller. Yeah, but if the seller want to just sign it to page 10 on the signature first, fine. But once the signature is on, done deal.
So we can send the combo offer first.
Yeah, we can send the counter.
And then later on, we send this purchase.
Yes,
agreement.
yes, yes.
So when he signed that contract agreement, that's done deal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So some people say, hey, sellers, I haven't signed a purchase agreement yet. I only signed the buyers, and I have a better offer coming in. Too bad. Later, I'm going to tell you, if you have a better offer coming in, you already give out the offer. For example, you give a seller single. Okay. Let me jump ahead of time. It's like when you only have one offer coming in, and you know you have more offer coming in, but you haven't seen it yet. But seller say, let's counter this one first. Which counter you have to use? Seller counter offer or seller multiple counter offer? Because you only receive one. Doesn't matter, other listing agent verbally telling you they are sending the purchase agreement. How did I learn that? Through the hard way. Well, because we have a co-worker, doing that as well. Well, they are verbally telling us, so we give it as multiple counter. Yes, they do. No, the seller never have a time limit. Even our purchase agreement say the default is 3 days. Okay, then this purchase agreement will expire. But if seller signing a month later, will become alive, like zombie. Alive. Well, I have a case before between the buyer and seller negotiation, 2 months. Me and listing agent, should I resubmit the buyer's agreement? buyer's purchase agreement. I mean, it's 2 months. Then they say, well, we can continue. Yeah, I know we can continue. So if the seller, yeah, okay, put it this way: if the buyer honor this agreement and so the seller honor this agreement, they will continue. They will continue. It just, even expire, but if the seller sign it, that means this purchase agreement suddenly back alive. That's it. Then the counter, same thing. Wait until a week, and the buyer sign it, and suddenly back alive. It's valid. Yeah. Yes. Okay, that's want to continue. No. You gotta have to. That's a form you gotta have to use. Remove offer. What withdraw offer? I'm sorry, withdraw offer. Listing agent. You gotta have to give. Okay, that's a form you gotta use though. It's in the zip form. They call it withdraw offer. 第一个 counter offer 你要 withdraw 嘛？你给他的 single counter。Yes, I'm going to cover that later on. Withdraw, you gotta have to withdraw counter. Okay, doesn't matter sometimes because that withdraw offer that's including withdraw purchase, withdraw single counter, the seller's counter replace a multiple counter offer. They have an option, the check mark. You can do that. So you gotta have to remove the offer. Even you can remove on a buyer. I can remove the buyer's counter number 1 and I resubmit the buyer's counter number 1. Can I do that? Yes. So that form it can be used between seller or buyer. It's called remove offer. You must be. Otherwise, you cannot just give in the seller multiple counter without remove offer on the first one. So if I'm the buyer's agent, you don't know the law. You're the listing agent. You know which form I sign? I will not sign a multiple counter. I just sign a single seller counter. I got the deal. You can, yes, because you don't know the law. You don't know the form. Then what I end up with, you lose. Then seller who is going to be pissed? Listing agent, all your fault. So that's why, when you remove the offer, this is a form. Legally, you have to use, just like a lot of listing agents, they're going to use notice prior to perform. Same thing. If you have an offer coming in, and you cannot lie to the buyer, say, yeah, I have more offer coming in, but so far we only got single counter. So what's that telling you? If I'm the listing agent, I already give you the hint. Sign it right away. Okay? You don't sign it, If I got more offer coming in, you lose. I gotta have to, withdraw your single counter. But usually, what we did is withdraw the single counter is we have the seller sign it right away. Okay, then not only we email to the buyer, we also text the message to the buyer's agent. Make sure, and I call buyer's agent. Look, I'm gonna withdraw your single counter, okay, and I will reissue you a multiple counter. Not later. No, I won't do it later. No, no, you know what I did? Same times.
So that when you do it first, you do it at the same time.
I doing the withdraw offer and multiple counter at the same time. So I don't want to give it the time, the warning. I say, oh, you're gonna withdraw the offer first. The sequence. What I usually did. I don't want to see because I'm more sneaky person. If somebody withdraw the offer and without sending me the multiple counter, I tell the buyer sign it right away. Well, too bad you haven't given me the because I did not receive it. I haven't received it. What do you say? Yeah, I gotta have to see it, right? Because I'm gonna give you the withdrawal offer first, and without having seen the email, boy, I tell the buyer DocuSign it right away before you even send a withdrawal counter. Listing agent, you are dead in the water. That's because the email has a timestamp, right? When you send it out, when you receive it. So the sequence, I'll tell you, to prevent the buyer challenge back is, first of all, you can ask, the seller, say, well, look, okay, let's do this. Withdraw the offer, sign a multiple counter, then I email to the buyer's agent without anything. Then I text them. Then I call them. Probably an hour later. So email is already out. And I call the listing agent. I say, later I say, did you receive, I sent you the email about an hour ago. Withdraw the counter. Yeah. Say, well, if you send me the counter offer, single counter, sell a single counter back, it's too late. The time, right? I did withdraw first. You send it back later. There's going to be match. So that's why when the listing agent telling you, I say, yeah, we have the more offer coming in, but it's you are the first one, and I'm going to counter you now. You better sign it right away. If the buyers wants it or anything you need to counter, do it right away. Don't wait until other offer coming in. Okay. And number 2, seller has a right to cancel buyer's continue contract application. Wait, I got deposit fund required. Okay. And number 2, deliver a notice, a FHA or VA cost and term and required with paragraph 3D3 C.A.R Form FEA. So those are, we usually submit it, with the purchase agreement already. Please remember that if you adding the FHA and VA addendum, if your buyer is a VA loan or FHA loan, submit it with the offer. Okay? Don't wait until the seller to give you the perform or anything like that. Just go ahead and submit it with the purchase together. Deliver a letter required by the paragraph 3JI. What letter? A pre-qualified letter. Okay, so that's why we deliver the letter, pre-qualified letter, and also deliver the verification of a satisfactory verification if the seller reasonable disapprove of the verification already provided as required by the paragraph 3C and H. So that's why we submitted the proof of fund. We submitted a pre-qualified letter. If it's FHA or VA loan, go ahead and submit an addendum, the VA or FHA addendum, with your purchase agreement, all 3 together. So you clearly disclose with seller. You gotta have to make the seller comfortable to accept your offer right away, or they give you the counter right away if the price is not, what they want. 5, in writing, assume the acceptance lease or lien specified in AB5. And number 6, return statutory and lead disclosure as required by the paragraph 10A5. So those are, give it like those are disclosure. Okay, you gotta have to give it to the seller, give it to the buyer to sign. And sign an initial separated liquidation damage form for an increased deposit as required by the paragraph 3B or 21B. So if you have an increased deposit, remember last, when I started, you can using the initial increased deposit to make your offer stand out. If you're accepting my offer after a week later, after open escrow, I can, put even more initial deposit. Well, so actually show them more sincere on the offer. I know very rarely people are using that, but it can be doable. Just let you know. Just sometimes, you just have to show the seller, my buyer's really, really serious, want to buy your home. But if you want to even including the increased deposit into the liquidation damage, that means if I cancel, you can not just take 3%. You can take all of my deposit. That's a liquidation separate form on that liquidation damage. So that's a difference. Number 7, sign an initial. Number 8. Provide evidence of authorization of the signed and represented capacity and specify in paragraph 19. In such event, seller shall authorize the return of a buyer's deposit except the fee and incurred by the buyer. Provide an evidence of authority of a signed and represented capacity. That is actually if you're signing as the trustee, power of attorney, or you're signing on any sign for the company, LLC. If you want to buy it, using LLC, company's name or corporation, or you are the beneficiary of the trust, or if you are the power of attorney, this is a form you need to sign. But usually what we did is you submit it with the purchase agreement at the same time. Don't separate them. So just don't send in the purchase agreement. To us as a listing agent, when you just send me the purchase agreement, it's incomplete. Why? I didn't see the bank statement. I didn't see the pre-qualified letter. And you want to buy it for the company. I didn't see the representative of capacity form. So who is actually going to sign this, sign for this company or sign for this buyer? Okay. So those are all different forms. You need to submit it right away. And sometimes I know some of the buyer they even like to using. Can I using a signee? So we got only one buyer, and I don't know which the second buyer is going to be. So I give you the form. You have to get a signee form on the zip form. I never use it because I don't like that, and most of the listing agent doesn't like that either. But it's there. You could use it if you want to. The zip form got so many. They try to cover pretty much a wide range of the situation, but just tell you the form is there. Whatever on my training, I covered the most form you are using almost every day. The rest of the form you would never use it. Just like on my practice of my career, I never use a signee form, but it's there. Yeah. E, notice a buyer to seller to perform. So the NBP or NSP, buyers perform or seller perform, show 1, be in writing, 2, be signed by the applicable buyer or seller, and 3, give the other party at least 2 days. That's the default, unless you want to change it. But who changed this though? Because purchase agreement is a buyer's to submit. I don't think you want to change shorter time, 1 day, because you're the buyer. And notice buyer to perform or seller to perform. It depends on who do you want it to perform. For example, if the seller need to buying the relocation property, finding the new property, sometimes you want to get a notice seller to perform in 1 day. But this one, they didn't really specify as MBP or NSP. So if you change 1 day, that means seller can also give you the notice buyer to perform in 1 day. So I'd rather don't change that. I mean, if you really want to do it longer, like 3 days, okay, it's your choice. But I'd rather leave a default 2 days. Don't shorten the time period. Because if you want a seller to perform and what it end up with, the seller can also want you to perform within 1 day because if you change it 1 day, yeah. I saw the people, changing to 1 day. I said, okay. I mean, you can still counter to change back to 2 days. That's what the counter offer for. Whatever you want to supersede the purchase agreement, that's what you did. Whatever the term and condition is, you're now agreed and on the counter offer. So or until the time specified in the applicable paragraph, whichever occur last, to take the applicable action. A, the MBP or NSP may not be delivered any earlier than 2 days prior to the expiration of the applicable time of the other party, and remove contingency and cancel this agreement and meet the obligation specified in paragraph 14. So whatever, even the counter offers, I know some of listing agents, they even counter say, remove the inspection contingency within 7 days. Okay, fine. Can we serve the MBP? Which day? Just for the inspection contingency. 5th day, because you just supersede the 17th day. You took the inspection contingency out from 17 days and shortened to 7 days. So if the by 5th day you haven't do the inspection yet, buyer, seller can serve the buyer, remove inspection contingency to perform. Notice the perform and check mark, because MBP, they have all the check mark for whatever you want the buyer to remove. You check that. Within 3 days, you haven't received the initial deposit. Can you serve the MBP? Yes. For what? Initial deposit. Otherwise, I'm going to cancel you. Legally, that's how we did. You just don't say, I have no money coming in, so we cancel you right away. The cancellation. You gotta have to follow the order. And that's why MBP is actually, you gotta give the buyer a chance, just like your situation. You want the 3 days. Which day you can serve? Next business day. Right? Friday, you accept the offer. Saturday, Sunday. And Monday, you can serve them because of 2 days before the initial deposit. By Wednesday, right? Then you serve them on Monday. Notice buyer to perform. For what? Initial deposit. You don't turn it in until the Wednesday. Yeah, seller has the right to cancel you legally. Then you cannot challenge me because I already gave you the MBP. Okay. Or you can, put in a counter offer even before the open escrow. Either way. Yeah. But it's like, but you can only serve the business day. But it's a Friday. You cannot do anything until Monday. You serve that MBP. Sure, you can shop around. I'll give you the. I'll give you the MBP. You think you can shop around? Yeah, sure, you can shop around. That's fine. But you're gonna have to put the money into the escrow first. Then you continue to shop around. It's okay. Yeah. Then if they tell you that within 7 days to get the inspection, I got start spending money. Do I have much time to shop around? Not really. No, unless you got tons of houses out there. Okay, depending on the city and the area. F. Affecting the buyer's remove the contingency. If the buyer remove in writing any contingency cancellation right, unless otherwise specified in writing, buyer should conclusively be deemed to have 1. Complete all buyer's investigation and review and report other applicable information and disclosure pertaining and that the contingency or cancellation right. So you got to make sure you review everything on the reports and the inspection. And 2, elected to proceed of the transaction. So that means you gotta, once you sign, that means you proceed this transaction. 3, assume all liability, responsibility, and expense and repair and correction pertain to that contingency or cancellation, right? Or for the ineligibility and obtain the financing. So that means you gotta make you agree a seller give you the repair or the credit or anything. Or if the seller doesn't send you the response for the request for repair, that means buyer, you have to do all the repairs. Or you do without any repair. It's up to you, your choice. Right? Okay. So then also you got to make sure you can get financing, because once you remove all contingency, that means you just ready to kiss your initial deposit goodbye. If you cancel, you better close the deal. Close of escrow. Before buyer and seller cancel this agreement for the failure of other party to close escrow, pursuing to this agreement, buyer and seller must first deliver to the other party demand to close escrow. A lot of listing agents forget that. Oh, they didn't close escrow on time, so I sent them a cancellation. No. The purpose on this DCE, just like notice prior to perform, you gotta have give the buyer a chance to fulfill their duty. You just cannot cancel them right away. That's a law. Just like notice prior to perform, okay? On all different conditions. This one, same thing. Then when did they serve that? Okay, here's a little bit different. The DCE shall be signed by the applicable buyer and seller and to give the other party at least 3 days after delivery to close of escrow. And DCE may not be delivered any earlier than 3 days prior to the scheduled close of escrow. That means before close of escrow, 3 business days. Okay, because here it doesn't really say business day, but obviously we cannot do the recording of close of escrow on the weekend anyway. So obviously you gotta figure it's a 3 business day. Excluded a holiday. You can serve them demand to close. When you serve them demand to close, if they didn't close on time, who has the right to cancel? Seller. Yeah. Yeah.
So if the seller cancels, that buyer needs to pay that the initial deposit.
Seller cancel? No, seller can keep the initial deposit.
So seller keep, so buyer will lose that, right?
Yes, because who removed the contingency? Buyers already removed the contingency, and you cannot close it on time. Well, buyer, if you really need to extend the escrow, you better do it at least a week ahead of time. And renegotiating with the seller, and seller may, if I'm a listing agent, okay, I'll let you extend maybe a week. How long do you need? And the sellers agree, a week or 2 weeks, whatever. After that, what do we have? Per diem. If you didn't close on time, you're gonna have to pay $100 a day, $150 a day, or $200 a day. Depends. What kinds of properties? And those are, you sign it, you issue an addendum, and both parties sign. Then you can, then buyer have to issue the extension of the escrow to the seller. Then seller have to issue the addendum for the condition, term and condition, and per diem penalty. And that's why, if you're financing through East West Bank or Cathay Bank, good luck. I have the buyer penalized more than a month. Yeah. And depend whatever the $100 or $150 a day. Then if the buyer doesn't want to put all of them, pay all of them, who's going to contribute? Buyer's agent. Been there, done that, and pissed me off. Okay? Both. I have the experience before. One, Cathay Bank, the last time, the one that got penalized, that's a 75-day escrow. And Cathay, the one East West Bank is 90-some days, almost 100 days. Wow, yeah. Well, East West actually works.